that log about 1 metre or 2 away from where it originally was coming into the lane, you know. So keep it over this way about 1 metre or 2. So miss all that small stuff, but make him walk over it, yeah? Get him to walk over that small stuff, but leaving the log over near me. That's lovely, go on. And that'll do you there. Whoa. That's it, lovely. So when you go up the side of him, you want him to just come back. That's it there. Tell him stand. That's sweet. Oh, you want to walk forward, step over that split timber, or on the other side, but that don't matter. Just leave them now up on his. That's it. And make sure they're lift. You know, they'll lift off sweetly. You understand what I mean? It's like in one hand, okay? That's it. Now just touch his arse, give him a scratch. He's a green horse, just learning the job, right? That's lovely. Beautiful work. Chuck it clean over his back, because we haven't got the other harness, have we, where it'll chain up easy. That's nice. No, leave him up there, leave him up on his neck. We'll bring him round again, because he's going to pull these others out in virtually the same thing. But what you've got to do is leave him stand there, tell him to stand, and come and undo this chain and swingle. Well, now he mustn't follow you. So put him back. You know, we've taught him to follow, but he mustn't do that now. So just tell him to stand still there. Okay. Okay, so take your chain off. Now he knows full well, and what people have got to understand, he's a green horse, he knows the gate's there, he knows that's across the road, you know, so he could walk straight home from here. Now I'd go and take that up first. Just take that up to the end of the timber where you're going to use it. And see this here where he's looking at you. No, we're going to do the other ones, pull them out, because they're all more awkward. And the horse just standing there nice and quiet, doing his job. So, what I'm trying to explain here is Rei's never done this before. This is only the 3rd or 4th time he's done anything. Stand still. Now, I've just told him then I can read horse perhaps better than... and I've just told him to stand still. He can hear that moving behind him. He's saying, "You ready for me yet?" Now eventually what this horse will do, he'll come when he's asked, you know, come here, and he'll come here and he'll walk round to where you want him. He'll come back to you, in other words, like homing pigeon. But he's got to stand there now, so you can see his ears going, you can hear the chains going, etc. And she's chaining up now, ready to pull. You want to slip that round to the bottom now, to your hook, as much as ever you can, so it lifts. Stand still! You do! You do! Get back! 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 Stand still. So a stern word then, which is what you've got to do, because she's moved. And he shouldn't have done so. So a stern word. Don't mean to say you've got to smack him, hit him or anything like that. Just what's it? Now she'll bring him round. So this is his 3rd time actually of doing anything at all. Reid's just told me it's his 3rd time. So that's pretty remarkable really. And also what we're working him in this dip, if you can see this dip, he can't stand comfortable wherever he's standing, and he never will be able to. He never will be able to stand comfortable in the woods, you know. I mean, very, you know, not very likely that he'd stand comfortable. So also when you get the hang of this, you know exactly how long. You never want any weight on the trace when he's standing waiting to go, because obviously if you've got any weight on there at all, even this now where the chain is being lifted off the ground slightly is a bit too much, because he feels the weight on his shoulder. He say, "Want me to go now? Are you ready for me to go?" But he's picking it up sweet, you know, really nice. He's only a baby, and he's doing this. You can see his leg at rest there. He's standing uneven on the ground. he's got to pull this into a dip and then out of a dip. You know, that's if it rolls down the dip. We've also picked one with a load of ivy growing on it. They're always a pain. They drag, they're a lot heavier, they're a nuisance because the ivy grows all which way. It grows up the trunk certainly, but it grows all which way, it makes knots. So you get stuff that will pull into the ground and be hard work. And you see that? Look at that ground being pushed up the front of that like a plough. And this is harder. You see him working a bit heavier there. You know, he's saying, man, this is hard to pull. This is heavier, Dad. Or Mum. So, that's it, yeah. So he's coming up here just sweet now. Big old lump of oak. Green oak, obviously. And that's a lot heavier than when it's dry. And what she's doing, or I've asked her to do, is come right up by that other stuff. We've got, you know, the shrubs growing there in the hedge. And you see him turn sideways now, look. Lovely straight body and turning sideways. That's beautiful. And this is the type of thing you want him to do when he's working away. You see, we've only got this string on him here to just take the temptation of putting his head down to eat the grass. Eventually that won't have to be on there because you know that's not time to do that. But you can see that ploughing up in front of that log, yeah? Always the same when you've got ivy wrapped on it, you know? You can hear him pulling it and leaving a great trench behind this big old log, yeah? And that'll do, yeah. Lovely, that'll do there. Just asked him to come back a step. He's got his foot right on the log. He's moved his foot, that's beautiful. That good boy, that was good there. He had his foot right on another log there. And he moved back beautiful. So, see, she's taking a little bit of time, Riaz, there, just to put these reins up properly. Because when you grab the reins with a young horse because he's done something wrong, he's misunderstood an instruction, you want to know them reins are going to come off nice and easy. So just take them off quick as though you had to take them off quick. So see, straight off and she's there. Now put them back up again. Yeah, so see what she's making a nice big long loop. Yeah, and just putting them up. So everything's off the ground and they're out of the way, but they come off easy. Now you see this horse is standing here now. This is quite good, you know, for his like third time working. So what she's going to do is take that off. Going to throw the chains over his back, can you see? So they flop down, his legs still at rest, but throwing the chains over, just letting them bang against him. Yeah, and she's now going to have to take her swingle tree off and pull in chain. And you have to understand, we are not a logging yard. It's just that I've done some of this, and I've worked with some lads that worked horses in the woods, so I've got a rough idea. And they would have. Now this log is very, very awkward log we're doing next, because it's got a great bend in it for a start. So Ree's fitting her chain. She wants to pull from the bottom again as much as possible, but she's got to get it under. Now, what you'd have, you have a special tool for turning your timber. It looks like a pickaxe shaft with a spike on a hinge, and use that to tickle the timber out, you know. But and obviously again when you're working horses, that's lovely. So I'll see what she's done there, what she's thinking. That's going to roll the right way for me, so that's the right place, and I think she's right. But the timber is pointing down, so again it will pull a load of earth in front of it as she moves. See the old horse just standing, well, say old horse, the baby horse standing there, just waiting for his next instruction. And she'll make a little bit of a fuss of him now, just a little bit of reward, not too much, no tidbits, but just a little bit, good boy, you know, and bring him back. And he's learning, and he quite enjoys doing this, you know. So how would we ever know he enjoys it? Well, when he sees that collar to go on, when he sees that collar, like, he put his head down for it. Now he's just already associating the collar with being out doing the timber work. So just touching him round now. I'll simply stand. Now what she's done this time, I'll let her just do what she's doing. She's doing the job, not me. Yeah, that's lovely. So she's positioning her horse just sweet. Oh. Reins off. She'll chuck the reins over this side, leave them out just on the ground. Make sure that she knows which one's left and right. You know, she'll have it sorted the way she does it. You can never tell anyone how to do this job. You can only say how you do it, and then they'll adapt themselves to be. Obviously, we don't want them reins around her feet at the moment, so he's there. But if he moved, she should be able to tell him to stand. Yeah, but he's standing just sweet and lovely. Again, the same thing, the leg at rest. So also, this is only his third time, as I say, doing it. And he only does about 40 minutes, an hour at a time. It's not a working day in the woods, it's for him to know what to do. Now if he'll stand for people, you know, like he's doing at the moment, and the folk that own him are going to come and spend a day and do all this themselves. The reason I'm, you know, getting Rein to do this, she's only been with me a few months now, and this is her first lot of logging as well. So, you know, moving timber. So she snatched it that way first. Yeah, that's it. She want to snatch it over here now, so that she's not going down that trough. That was good. Can you see him going away? Now, so she's manoeuvred the timber out of where it was. Can you see the great bend in it? So you can see the drag is much more now. Much more. So still going way down the... That's it, lovely. Still going all the way down there. Sorry, I didn't have a camera on then. I was watching the horse and not filming properly. But he's just turned around there nice as he did before. And she has positioned that chain. That's quite, very good, you know, because I don't know what she's doing at the minute. She's learning. And she's positioned that chain just nice. If you can look, can you see a slight bounce in the log? So he's lifting the front of the log with the pitch of the trace and just taking that. So all he's pushing forward is a few little bits of... just hold up there, Rein, a minute. I'm just going to come round and film him here, because this is a situation. We want to get these 3 timbers together, yeah? So you can see, I'm just going to show you now. So there's nothing at the front here, just that little few pile of leaves. Can you see there? Right at the front. So what I'm saying to you is there's nothing. My toe will go underneath there. So, and there's no mark of earth being pushed up the front. That's quite good, very good in fact. So obviously she's been listening to me, because if it had a load of earth up the front and it's been stained by the muddy conditions, obviously it's making more work for the horse than necessary. If we look at this timber and the shape of it, can you see how it comes around here and off there? The drag on this timber is massive. She's a green timber, she's heavy. Weight of it I wouldn't know, and there's no point in guessing, because whenever we've picked a timber up and put it on our scales, it shocks you. It can be the tiniest thing and weigh twice as much as a great big one. But this is heavy timber. She's green oak and a lot of drag on it from the ivy. So very pleased. Now what she's got to do now is get this horse to walk between this, drag this up, yeah? So what I'm going to get her to do is to drop the reins, leave him there, and see if she can find a small piece of timber. She might have one in place already, or maybe she has, yeah. So yeah, so what we want to do, there's a little one there, so I'm just going to help her a tiny bit here just by pushing this one over a little tiny bit, and hopefully, so as I've moved that timber there, you notice his back legs has been pushed by the timber, but he still hasn't moved. We've got a lot of midges where it's been wet all around him, tormenting him, and he's still doing his job. For a baby horse, you know, a youngster who's 4-year-old, this is lovely. Only got a rubber bit in his mouth, which he loves. Now she's going to bring it up there, keep it as tight as she can to the one without the ivy, so she's got some hope of getting the chain off. And that's half the job. See this one here, she's pulled up on a timber, so taking the chain off was easy. This one here she done. That's it. So he's got to pull it up now between these two. And this is hard work, you know, to keep yourself straight, pull. That's it. And he's pulling it up there, look, can you see? Right. So that's quite superb, really. I'm well pleased with that. That's good. Can you see how she's got them all in line, the three of them, after moving all the three of them? So yeah, that's quite impressive, really. And all I can do is, you know, say maybe an idea to do this, maybe an idea to do that. But she's basically picked it up and doing. And the horse is working nice for her. We got someone pulled up across the road, so he can hear that. He can hear the dogs barking. And this horse loves the dogs, absolutely loves our dogs. Got dogs at home, and he's very, very, you know, much at peace around them. And this time she'll throw the chains over his back, you know, really throw them over, eye up in the air and chuck them so it flops either side, eye in the air and hit him up the ribs, you see, and he's still standing, lovely and doing his job. Now I really can't tell you really how pleased I am with that, because Rein's got no idea, never done this before. Well, she's done it on the this is her third time. I done it the first time. She's done it once herself before this, so I'm really, really pleased with that. That's it. Now put him back where he was. So you see, as soon as she asked him to stand, he stopped. Yeah, and she put him back where he was. That's an important thing to do. Yeah. And he's saying, "What's my mate's barking about? Something must be wrong." Yeah. Now what she's going to do now is get this swingle tree and chain, and she's going to hang that on the aim the other side, because we're going over now and we need to keep this with us. So what she'll do, she'll take one of the little chains off the end of the swingle tree, hook it over the aim, yeah, right, like that, then hook the other one up so it's not banging around his legs, yeah, like that, just out of the way, then hook the other one over that. So just so he can carry it home for us, and like that, yeah. Now she won't drive him back, she'll walk him back over, just check his reins are not caught up or anything like that, and she'll just walk him back. Well done, Marie, I've got to say that, mate, and not a bad job. She's tiny. So there he goes back across, carrying his bit of equipment home with him. Very pleased with that. That's a nice bit of work done there, lovely bit of work. Now if she stops him now and tells him wall and stand, she'll go over and open the gate. Now obviously this is a great temptation for him to move forward, because he knows he's going back home, he knows he's going to have his grub. He's just got to stand there like that. Rein. So that's it, it's all part of his training. Put him back exactly where he was, or as near as you can to where he was exactly, and tell him stand. If I come back here, you'll see Rein walking to the gate, and I'll try and keep the horse in. I'm not very good at this. So you can see the horse, you can see the gate. Now put him back again. He's got to learn, he must not do that. And this is our job, all this tedious type of thing. I've seen other people put hobbles on them, tighten up the, you know, a rein on them, so they, hey, so getting better, but still ain't got the message, has he? Still taking liberties. We call that, you know what to do, stand there. Right. Now what Rein will do is shut the gates again. That's it, nice. Did you see that? Went to move, she told him not to. He's paying attention. And remember this, you know, talk is cheap. Here we show you what happens and what we do and how it's done. So it's the patience to tell him that's what's got to happen. Right? That's it. I just tell him stand and do it all again. So now the gates are shut, she's going to open them. He's going to hear the chain on the gate. He's going to know that's freedom. It's time to go back. I've finished work. This is my time. Yeah. So there, the gates are swinging open now, can you see? There, and he's standing like that. Now what I want you to do is just make a fuss of him, tell him to stand again, walk away to the gates, then come back to him, then lead him. Right? So he doesn't follow you. Tell him stand, firm voice. Wait, 3. That's it, get him back. And I tell him firmer to stand.
Stand still. Stand still.
So that's lovely. So he's still standing there, Ree's gone away from him, the gates are open. Yeah. And that's training horses. It takes the patience. And each horse is an individual. I've said that 1,000 times. But they've got to be safe, confident and happy in the job we're asking them to do. Whether that's going up the main road with arctics flying past, standing on the bridge, or this timber work. We teach them to pull barges, all sorts of, you know, work, commercial work for horses, every conceivable type. We do. We've got one pony I done years ago that worked a gin, which is basically a big wooden arm off of some cogs that turn round, and it drove a mill, you know, some equipment it drove. So I can't remember now, threshing machine I think, a little tiny thing, you know, anyway, but that's what it done. So he's standing there like that. So what she's going to do now is go round him. She's going to touch his head, but tell him to stand as she walks away. Just touch his head so he thinks it's time to follow. Right, now tell him to stand. That's it. Now that's hard for him to do. Please believe me, that's hard. Don't make no sense to him at all. Like almost tormenting him, but that's sometimes what we do. We don't intend to torment the horse, but we want them to just do what we ask them to do. So I'm proud of my little mate who works with me. Very, very proud indeed, because that's a big step for the pair of them. Both babies, yeah. Okay, that's lovely. Right, you asked him to walk up. Now don't hold him this time and ask him to follow you. Okay?
Harvey, walk on. Come on. Yep, come on.
Go on, call him again. Don't touch him.
Walk.
That's
Walk.
it.
Good boy. Walk. Harvey, walk. Come on.
Just come back and touch his nose and just reassure him. Just say, come on. Don't pull him, just touch him. Say, come on, boy.
Walk on. Come on.
That's it.
Boy, yes.
Well done. That is absolutely superb.
Walk.
That's it. Don't touch him. Just tell him on your voice.
Stand still now.
Stand, make him stand. You go to the edge of the road and check.
Stand still now. Stand.
Hey,
Stand. Hey, go back. Go back.
that's it. Don't touch him. Make him go back. Tell him.
Hey.
Just with your voice.
Back. Come on. Back.
Right, put your hand on him now if he won't listen. Go on.
Back.
Or he don't obey you. That's it.
Back. Good boy.
That's
Stand
it.
still.
No prodding with a sharp stick. No swinging the lead rope and hitting him on the nose and all that nonsense.
Harvey. Walk. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Yep. Come on.
And there he goes across the road. Like that. Obviously we can see both ways. We can see that everything's good. She's not touching him. We've got a motor car coming up the road now. And she'll ask him to stand now. She's asked him coming back now so she can get past his head. You know, the horse has got to accommodate us, right? Now the same thing. This is a worse gate. This is really tormentsome, you know, and I've got to do it. It's the first time he's done this. Up until now he's only pulled the timber. This coming home bit is most important. He's got to stand when he's told.
Stand still.
Have a look at the camera, look, saying, God, do you see what I have to go through with these people?
Stand still.
So as I say, the cord on there is very slack and loose. It's just to take that temptation of putting his head down to eat the grass. All he's got is a soft rubber bit in his mouth, no metal. We never put in them regardless of what they do. And this horse, as you can see, is a stallion horse. Well, Now what Rein will do now is just ask him to stand there, not being chained up at all, you know, just to stand. Now this is the normal position he stands in. So what we're going to do now is take him a stage further. That's it. Put him back. And every time we put him back in place, turn him round square to where he was, he's learning to do as he's told. Yeah? Or do what we asked him. We don't want to be, you know, that's it. So he thinks, well, when you move, you just told me to follow you 2 minutes ago. What's going on now? Just gently with him, tell him to stand. Yeah? He thinks, what am I standing here for then? I can go in there, I know where I live, you ain't got to tell me. I can go in and have me haylage and me bit of short grub. So there he is there. Lovely, he loves them old bits, plays with them all the time. So what I'm going to do now is ask Rein to bring him. That's it. See, this is in some ways, this is a bigger lesson than pulling the timber. This is real hard for him. And this is his mate here in front of me, this big old Russian thing. They like to say hello to each other. The other thing is that I'm absolutely loving, if you imagine I'm standing here, I've broke this horse, trained this horse, alongside with Rein, but I've been a big influence in his life. But if you watch and learn his body language and see what he's saying, he's actually, right, what I call, he's like linked himself up with Rein, because when he turns his head, he can see me without going around the rest of the way, and he's looking for where Rein is every time he turns his head. Yeah? So he's saying, come on, can't we go in? So he's not looking at me, can I go in, Dad? He's looking for Rein, yeah, when he turns his head. So that's just beautiful, you know. So see there, he can see me easy, but he's turning his head more around to try and get Rein in his sight, yeah. So he's saying, come on, let me go, look, I can do this. Can you see, look, just there, he's looking. So come on, can't we go? Come on, Rein, please, please, let me go. No, you've got to do as you're told. Because if he doesn't, and you've got a man down there behind him putting the chains on, or you're putting the traces on, you're going to take your fingers off. Not because he's a bad horse, but he's only got to step forward and you're in trouble. And I know people say today, oh, you should, you know, you need to people with the horse all the time. Look, horse ain't changed. Horse is exactly the same creature as it always was, right? It hasn't got you know, it hasn't got anything at all. It's exactly the same as it was. What's changed is horsemanship. What we teach here is horsemanship, you know, so that you haven't got to be punishing great Liverpool bits with curb chains on, you know, and all this. The horse will do as he's told with a soft piece of rubber in his mouth. That's why they don't put me in charge of these here cameras. So the other cameras packed, so I'm using a GoPro now. I just want to show you something else. I said to you about the midges, you can probably see them around his head, etc. But if you look, this horse was all washed and cleaned and done when we set off. And if you look at his sheath here, you know how that's tormented. I'm just going to show you just how much. Right there, can you see like actual blood on my fingers where he's been bitten? Now you say to me, well, why do you allow that? Well, it would happen in the normal field if you stood in the field. What we would do normally is put some cream on. The reason we haven't put the cream on is just to show you that even with that irritation, he's still done what we've asked him to do. So there you go. And these two, you know, work really well together. You know, some horses just take to someone better than someone else. That you mustn't take that as, like, I don't take it as an insult or a rejection from them. I'm pleased to see that it worked, and also it's a fella and a girl that work together in the woods doing the timber job, and they're similar sizes, and she'll be a girl working the horse a lot of the time. Now you say I'm not sexist or any way like that, but obviously the voice is different to a fella and lighter, so that's a good change over time, you know, to get that right. So that's real good, yeah. So now he'll have No doubt she'll make a fuss of him with apples and God knows what, but we never tip bit him, and that'll be coming. Okay.
There's a smile on my face every time I hear that sound. The rhythm of the hooves as they touch the ground. And there's no better place I'd rather be than with my safe, confident horse. And there's no better place I'd rather be than with my safe, confident horse that's had